3 edits in 1 day. It's on like the Quran. Alright, hold on, let me... Alright. See, I don't know why. I'm supposed to have like the day off work and everything. And here I am, just working like a SOB. Oh wait, hold on. I'm trying to encourage people to join into the live stream by telling them that this chapter is about nuking the Japs. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Voice. 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 I'm just voicing all the users that I recognize in the chat. And then I got big HGC. I guess Cooey is up in here. Cooey. MT. I wonder if that's... Who's MT? No, it's that guy from Political or whatever there. Alright, let's get to it. So Logic and Sloth were saying that our protagonist is going to die. Now, I wouldn't do that to you. After making everybody fall in love with this scrappy little kid. Can't just kill him off. It'd be ridiculous. But then again, what if I did? You won't know until the story is finished, I suppose. Oh. And I can't have more caffeine, because my brain will explode. We have like less than 100 pages left. This is over. This is over, boys. Now let me give everybody a second to file in here. So I gotta tell you, my experience on Substack is no one cares. It is a completely dead platform of people just screeching at each other. Yeah, that's the problem with anything like creator-driven. It's like the people who consume stuff and the people who create stuff, they're not the same, you know? They don't have the same prerogatives. So creator-driven platforms are just usually full of like self-shilling, which is why I'm there. You know, I'm there to shill. But I digress. Let's see. Oh, do I really have to start reading this chapter with nobody here? And I'm so froggy too. You know, I'm the real sufferer of a chronic illness, not Robin Martillo. Let's get to it. So, chapter 48. Attention, Japanese people. Evacuate your cities. Because your military leaders have rejected the 13-part surrender declaration, 2 momentous events have occurred in the last few days. The Soviet Union, because of this rejection on the part of the military, has notified your ambassador Sato that it has declared war on your nation. Thus, all powerful countries of the world are now at war with you. Also, because of your leader's refusal to accept the surrender declaration that would enable Japan to honorably end this useless war, we have employed our atomic bomb. A single one of our newly developed atomic bombs is actually the equivalent in explosive power to what 2,000 of our giant B-29s could have carried on a single mission. Radio Tokyo has told you that with the first use of this weapon of total destruction, Hiroshima was virtually destroyed. Before we use this bomb again and again to destroy every resource of the military by which they are prolonging this useless war, petition the Emperor now to end the war. Our president has outlined for you the 13 consequences of an honorable surrender. We urge that you accept these consequences and begin the work of building a new, better, and peace-loving Japan. Act at once, or we shall resolutely employ this bomb and all of our other superior weapons to promptly and forcefully end the war. Evacuate your cities. Hey, what's up, Axel Boost? Been a long time. Should I reread the... the leaflet that was dropped? This is one of the leaflets that we dropped on Nagasaki and some other cities that we were potentially going to drop the fat man on. It was after the little boy. So this is right after Hiroshima. So what's happening in this chapter? Well, we'll get to it here. This is a story about our protagonist and his grandmother. We are 48 chapters deep into this thing, which means that we're in the home stretch. It's only 60 chapters long. And actually, have you seen any of this new stream or this new book or whatever? It's wild, man. Robin, wake up. A blade of light fell on Robin's eyes. He squinted, half caught in a blue-eyed dream he didn't want to leave. Is something wrong? Robin blinked. The stars were still out. No, you haven't seen anything about this? Whatever, I missed whatever you said. I lagged. I hear you. So this is a new book set in Albuquerque, New Mexico in 1979 about a boy going through chemotherapy for acute lymphoid leukemia who goes to like a hobby store and finds a bunch of older kids playing a war game in the back. And the kid becomes obsessed with this war game and sort of writes like a story in his mind. He imagines like a fantasy campaign that the little toy soldiers are fighting out as he's going through his own little fantasy campaign, trying to recover from leukemia. All right, so there you have it, amigo. It's been a while. Yeah, how many books have come out since, yeah, it's, let me show you. So here's the cover for this guy. It's called Robin the Prodigy. And it really tries to fold in some of like that late 70s nostalgia for like war games and D&D and stuff like that. It's got like old cars in it and so forth. And it should be relatively consistent with the actual like medical technology from 1979. You may not know, but like 1979 was the first year where there was a bone marrow transplant. Yeah, it's been about 2 years since I have streamed anything of consequence there, because it takes 2 years to write a book. This one has been about 2.5 years. When did I start it, actually? Hold on. Let me go to the author dashboard, and then, so dashboard, this was a contrast entry, advanced, import chapters, analytics, content. Where do we have the settings for this guy? Donations, change set, Let me see. I wish it told us, like, the day that this was originally published. Well, it doesn't matter. Anyhow. So, yeah, this is on Royal Road, and I made a new Substack and put that on there. So far, like, I don't know. I'm not too sure about Substack here. But I will tell you, when you go to, like, read on Substack, it's so much better. Like, somebody who actually reads on their phone is, oh yeah, please hype me up on Royal Road. But yeah, man, like, this is so much easier to read to my eyes than Royal Road. So I'm a fan there. Anyhow, yeah. Yeah, Royal Road is, and the other thing is, like, you can link Royal Road to, like, fantasy and science fiction people, but you cannot link Royal Road to a normie. They will just be like, I don't know. But Substack, you can be like, oh yeah, it's Glenn Greenwald's thing. I too hate America. So then you've already got that bridge built to the person. But the problem is Substack is not set up for episodic fiction, so I just get around it by adding a navigation button to the bottom of each one so you can go to the next chapter. Real talk. Let's get back to it. Robin, wake up. A Blade of Light. So this is Robin Martillo. He's 13 years old. Spanish is his primary language, but he's fluent in English. And he is with his grandmother, Una. Una is 72 or 73 at the time of this writing here. Her English is her second language and very much her second. And they both live in Los Grigos in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Robin used to live in Amarillo, Texas, but his mother died of a drug overdose. So now he has to live with his grandmother. And I'm sick as all get out because of all that Canadian smoke that's blowing over here to Romania. R.I.P. Yeah, but I've done 2 edits today already, and I'm gonna do a third because I want to get this done, and I have too much caffeine in me. Yeah, I'll live. Yeah, how you been doing? I forget if you were writing something too. Let me know what's what. Hurry up and get dressed. We're going on a trip. A trip? Before he knew it, they were in the Falcon, headed onto the Can-Am Highway. Oh yeah. Dawn broke over the Sandia Pueblo. So it's not Sandia Peak. So there is a Sandia Pueblo, but a pueblo is more like a city. I made this mistake a couple of times. Dawn broke over Sandia Peak as they drove north. Robin watched the sand blaze from purple to pink to gold as the sun climbed over the eastern hills. I've always been kind of up and down. Writing is one of the only consistent things that's remained through it all. Amen to that. That's like the only thing. I remember during the pandemic when I was working on these two books right here. Oh wait, hold on. I was working on both of these, and also there's more. This guy right here. So I was working on all these books over the pandemic, and I was so depressed because this girl had just dumped me like like a little bit into the pandemic, and I was like just so bummed out that I would just basically like wake up at 4 in the morning every morning and write, and then when I was done writing, I was like, well, it's time to go back to bed. I'm finito. Yeah, yeah, they're good too. I cannot get them published. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So this is everything to me. It's the one joy of my life there. But yeah, it's been so long that I cannot remember what you were writing. Did you finish a book or a short story, or are you doing like poetry or something? What did you have going on? Let's see. They turned at Bernalillo. I think they might be Bernalillo. They turned at Bernalillo and stopped at Anita's diner for gas and breakfast. It was the first time he'd been in a restaurant in a long time. Mm-hmm. Finish many smaller things. Keep waffling on how to end my novel. Have I already linked you the like how to finish your novel thing? Let me see. Did you get any of the smaller stuff published there, or printed somewhere, or get like even just getting like people excited about it is cool. It was the first time Robin had been in a restaurant in a long time. Probably, but send it again. Yeah, so it is. Yeah, so this is my guide to everybody who wants to. If you got a couple things, shoot, well, link me if you feel like it. I will take a gander there. But yeah, so this is my most critical thing, and it's about how to finish science fiction novels. And it includes all of the advice that I had learned up to that point. Um, and I'm pretty sure anybody that follows it will actually finish their novel. Real talk. But, you know, it's worth doing, right? Because, like, if the book is in you, you're not going to be happy until you get the book out of you, right? It'll dog your every waking moment. And then when the book is done, you're totally free. I got like 2 weeks after I finish a book where I'm just like, all right, well, I can get hit by a car right now. Like, the book is done, you know? It takes up that much of your mind. Anyhow, it was the first time Robin had been in a restaurant in a long time. The place was full of truckers. The waitress didn't bat an eye at his hat, so he wears a Cruz Azul, which is a Primera Division football team. He wears the sky blue Cruz Azul cap to cover the fact that he is totally bald and doesn't have eyebrows or eyelashes at this point in the treatment. They got huevos with red chili and a buttery tower of pancakes. Robin was wary. The nausea was always worse in the morning. Eat. You'll need your strength, Una urged. Robin noticed she was drinking coffee instead of her usual tea. I'm bald, but I have brows and lashes. Oh, well, you go. Honestly, like, bald is the way to go, bro. You don't want all this, like, nonsense troubling you day in and day out. It's just extra energy. Let's see. You just gotta get swole, like old my friend Blowjob Rogaine. And killing the Wolverine. I know, right? I am gonna keep growing my sideburns until I win a Nebula Award or become Isaac Asimov. Or until like whatever woman is in my life is like, hey, stop. I had a girl at like a bubble tea place be like, hey, you look just like Wolverine. And like I missed a chance to just be like, all right, bub, or something like that. Um, and she was not attractive, but like if I had the option, I still would have snapped that up. Maybe I'll go back. Eat. You'll need your strength, Una urged. Robin noticed she was drinking coffee instead of her usual tea. Robin did his best. I'll keep a fake pair on me for whenever people made the joke. Oh yeah. Yeah, just chopsticks or something like that. Who was my X-Man that I liked? It wasn't Wolverine. I can't remember which one of the like original OG X-Men I liked. Maybe none of them, honestly. I guess maybe Xavier, with all his mental powers and stuff. Robin did his best to pack away a few pancakes. He asked again where they were going, but Una wouldn't tell him. She made him wait in the car while she went into the gas station with her little cooler. He could hear ice rattle as she came back and put it in the trunk. He was dying to know what was inside, and Una clearly enjoyed making him wait. The land rose as they traveled northwest on 550 towards San Ysidro. How do you spell that? San Ysidro? San Ysidro? Ysidro. San Ysidro. They drove through the Indian country of Jemez Pueblo, and the rocks turned orange-red as the houses petered out. Una pulled the car over at the soda dam and let the engine ping down so they could get out and stretch their legs by the stream. The air was crisp and cool. Dark-eyed juncos sang in the brush around volcanic rocks that looked like gobs of whipped frosting. This is it, Una explained, as they climbed back into the Falcon. So the Falcon is I think it's a 1959 Ford Falcon, which is like a station wagon, and it's described as being Bahama blue, but very faded out in the story. Because it's 1979 when this takes place. All we have to do today is drive around and relax. I've got some lunch in the cooler. When it gets... Yeah. When it gets too hot, we can go back, Una said. Look, Robin pointed as a roadrunner darted across State Road 4. He half expected to see a coyote chasing after. Aspen and ponderosa pines rose around them as the Falcon climbed the Jemez Mountains. They stopped at San Diego Canyon and saw Cerro Grande in the distance. Robin's mind ran wild with daydreams of posses hunting outlaws in slot canyons and Puebloan warriors driving out the Spaniards. So here we need the coordinating comma. San Yggdrasil. Wait, are you the one that you're not in Finland, are you? Where you like somebody told me to read the Kalevala, which I loved. It was amazing. And I'm still like halfway through it. They repeat themselves a lot. No, okay. It was somebody from Finland had told me that. My memory is shot to hell, and beer is definitely the culprit. Robin's mind ran wild with daydreams of posses hunting outlaws in slot canyons and Puebloan warriors driving out the Spaniards. They were just a few hours from home, but everything was so different. The road turned east and brought them to Bandelier National Monument. Do you feel up to hiking? Una asked. Robin wasn't sure, but he said he did. They picked the Pueblo Loop. It was the shortest, easiest trail, and much of it was paved. It was still hard going for both of them. 1 year ago, Robin had run a mile in just 7.5 minutes during the presidential fitness test. Now he struggled to... Now has a comma. Now he struggled to keep up with his grandmother. So I think earlier in the story we actually talk about him doing this thing. I hope I didn't repeat it wrong. We'll figure it out. Halfway through, Una slowed and pressed her hand against her hip. He told her they could stop, but she waved him off. They kept going and came to a place where there were hand-dug cavates, where Robin could climb a log ladder to see where the Pueblo people had lived so long ago. They passed by the foundations of ancient ruins that would make awesome terrain for a battlefield. A lone cyclist passed and waved Buenos Dias, but after that they were alone. Robin was happy he'd come. Without his bicycle and his friends, the circle of his life had collapsed into a tiny dot. There was the kitchen table and his bed, the game store, and the clinic. He'd almost forgotten there was a whole world out there, just waiting for him to get better and come find it. At one point, the birdsong died out and the wind was still. Una and Robin's eyes met. Neither spoke. They only drank in the silence. Time stretched forever, until Robin's neck prickled. We don't need that. Robin's neck prickled. Something... Uh-oh. I hear... My neck is also prickling. I just heard something. Hachi! Something was watching him. He turned north and a pair of yellow eyes flashed at him. A lone coyote stood on a strand of rock beside a juniper tree. They stared at each other, and a shiver ran through Robin's shoulders. Oh, cool. Oh, so I just had something. I guess I'm Robin then? No, it's not me. Yeah, like after your first few books, you stop having anybody like be a stand-in for you, and you just start thinking about like a character. Like they're all informed by your opinion, your whatevers, but yeah, this boy is not me. Hachi! Yeah, let's see if I can get that dog down here. Just sad because she can't find a ball. A lone coyote stood on a strand of rock beside a juniper tree. They stared at each other, and a shiver ran through Robin's shoulders. Never had a stand-in? I spent too much time sitting? Crack! A rock smacked across the outcrop and startled the coyote. Robin saw a flash of its black-tipped tail, and then it was gone. Una had thrown the stone. Why'd you do that? Robin asked. They're bad luck, Una said. Her voice was strained. Maybe the coffee put her on edge. Don't let a ranger catch you, Robin shrugged. So superstitious. He wished he could have looked at the coyote a little longer. Alright then, so there's a lot going on there. But black tip tail, 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 black tip 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 tail. I don't know. It's alright. The sun climbed as they plodded through the loop, and by the time they made it back to the Falcon, they were hot and famished. The ice had melted, but the drinks were still cold. Una got them each a Coke and a pimento cheese sandwich. There was a bag of Zip potato chips to share. The package proclaimed, Zip is a pip of a chip. They sat at the picnic table and ate. It was a simple meal, but Robin had never tasted anything so good. He drank his Coke in slow sips, never wanting it to end. So I think Coke is supposed to be capital. Packaging gives me Fallout vibes, yes. Hachi! Hachi! I'm gonna have to go get her in a second there, because she's freaking out. She rolled her tennis ball under something and she can't get it, and it's breaking her heart. See, back then, it wasn't Coke, it was Coca-Cola. Although in Texas, they call everything a Coke. I've seen them do it myself, like with my own eyes. It's a thing. Thank you, Una. He beamed. Don't tell the doctor we did this. You're meant to be resting. I feel better getting some exercise, actually. It's beautiful up here. Good for the soul. I wish I could take you to Zacatecas. It's a silver mining town up in the hills like this. The buildings are made of pink limestone. The sunset would take your breath. They're building a Telerifico too, like the one we have at Sandia Peak. When it's done, you can ride up Cerro de la Buffa and see the whole city. I've been wanting to go back for years and years. Maybe when I'm better, we can go. So Telerifico is a cable car. They have them on mountains. Apparently in the Dominican Republic, there's like cable cars everywhere. Just because it's so mountainous and undeveloped. Maybe, Una said. It was strange the way she hesitated. Robin wondered if Una didn't think he'd make it. It's expensive, she explained, seeing the look on his face. Robin nodded. Everything was. They drifted for a bit and he daydreamed, watching wisps of clouds sweep across the deep blue sky. He made up his mind. When he was better, he would get a paper route or a part-time job. He would save his money and surprise Una with a trip to her hometown to thank her for taking care of him. What are you so happy about, huh? Una wondered. It's just a good day. This was a good idea, Robin said. He was thrilled to have a secret. The Falcon turned over on the first try, almost as if it was eager to keep exploring. Do you want to see Los Alamos? We're close. Hold on, let me go get that dog. I'll be right back. Hachi. Hachi. Just look at this smooth criminal here. This is the face of a dog who climbed up on the dining room table and couldn't figure out how to get back down off of it. Oh. Hello, sweetie. Hello, hello, hello. Why are you making all that noise, huh? Yeah, she is not supposed to be on the dining room table at all. Oh, and now she's gonna hassle me. But all right, go upstairs. Dogs. All right. You want to go see Los Alamos? We're close. Robin did. The city was open now, though there were still places under armed guard. Una was in a rare mood, far more talkative than normal. She talked about the war, all the Martillos and Sanchezes who had served and died. She talked about the war and all the Martillos and Sanchezes who had served and died. Una had lost 2 cousins in Pearl Harbor. Her younger brothers, Ramon and, oh wow. Her younger brothers, Ramon and Cirilio, died at Paleo, where the Marines bled so much for so little gain. They drove past the Bradbury Museum. Una turned around and pulled into the parking lot. There's a worse one if you want to hear it. Hachi. Hello, dog. Settle down, please. Settle down, please. Oh. Can you calm down? Do you want to sit on my lap, or do you just want to, like, fool around? No, you're too excited. All right, long dog. You gotta be really careful to keep them from hurting their backs. They don't know their own strength. There's a worse one, if you want to hear it. She cut the Falcon's engine. Robin said he did. I had a half-brother, John. Your mother didn't know. My father begged me to keep it a secret, but it doesn't matter now. My father begged me to keep it secret. It doesn't matter now. John was a torpedo man on the USS Robelo. The submarine disappeared in the Philippines on its 3rd patrol. We were told it hit a mine and went down with all hands. After the war, I learned 4 men survived and John was one. The captain was another. They swam ashore to Palawan and were captured by the Japanese military police. What are you doing? Get out of there. Yeah. I'm editing. You gotta chill. They were accused of being guerrillas and kept separate from the other prisoners of war. After we bombed the island, the Japanese got angry. They took the 4 survivors and pushed them into a ditch. Then they poured gasoline on them and set them on fire. Robin didn't know what to say. Una had an inscrutable look on her face. Let's go inside. Crack the window, she reminded him. It turned out the Bradbury Museum wasn't named after the writer, but a scientist. There was a lot of info on the Manhattan Project and an exhibit where a nuclear chain reaction was demonstrated with tennis balls. Another exhibit showed the whacks who had served at Los Alamos and Oak Ridge. That's us, Una said, still proud. They continued on and saw scale models of the Fat Man and Little Boy atomic bombs. They were smaller than Robin thought they would be. There was a display case with one of the leaflets dropped after Hiroshima. Robin read it. It was haunting. Thus, all powerful countries of the world are now at war with you. He thought about it as they left the museum and walked back to the car. Una was too quiet. What was it like when you heard about the bomb? Robin asked. Una thought about it for a while before she answered. I was very happy. Robin stared at her. You have to understand. As bad as Peleliu was, Okinawa was hell on earth. We lost 12,000 men. Thousands went mad after the battle. They couldn't take it. We killed 100,000 Japanese soldiers and God knows how many civilians. They were crazy. They wouldn't surrender. The whole invasion of the mainland would have gone the same way. The plan was called Operation Downfall. They were going to send 2 million men, and they thought they might lose a quarter of those, maybe even half. Hector and I would have flown more missions. All right, hold on. Hachi. What are you doing? Come here. Goodness. Goodness. Oh my god, she's such a bad dog today. She's going crazy. Usually she's chill. Now she's full of beans. Hector and I would have flown more missions. If not for that bomb, there's a good chance you would not exist. They were quiet for a time after that. Una looked like she'd said more than she meant to. I can't even imagine, Robin shook his head. Good. That's why we went. So our children wouldn't be able to imagine what we went through. There was something hard in her face, an anger that would never change. As she turned the key, Una glanced at the Jesus figurine, then back at the museum. They shouldn't have attacked us, she said. And she's crazy. All right, Hachi, come here. Come here. Come here. Okay? You okay? You want to sit here? You want to sit here and be my buddy while we edit the thing? Oh. Oh, hello, sweetie. Hello, little dog. All right, cool. I'm happy with this chapter. It's chapter 47. And what's this chapter really about? What's the standout image? Yeah, that's what I want. Okay. Yeah, I just have to come up with chapter titles for all these. And chapter. All right, let's just make sure this happened. Cool. Okay, so now we can go here. So we can create a new article. And it's the reverse of a stroke song. Not is this it, but it is it. Button, the subscribe button, continue. We want our audience to be everybody. I don't charge for stories if I can help it. Boom. And then we can go to this chapter that we've just created here and copy the link to it. And we can go back to our previous chapter. You can hear Substack notifying me because it loves to just make noise for no reason. Wait, oh, what? Oh yeah, it just automatically embeds? Killer. I've been wasting a lot of time doing that. All right, cool. That's awesome. I like the automatic embedding. I've wasted so much time doing this wrong. Okay, and then we'll update that chapter. So now we have like navigation. And of course, by navigation, it just goes forward. Like I'm not adding a back arrow or anything like that. So there we go. Let me see how long this next chapter is. Let me see. 4:24. It's 4 p.m. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, let's do it. A shadow loomed over the board. 2 knights galloped down the queenside in furious defense of their general's honor. Before the game, Robin had offered Una a pawn. She hadn't taken it well. Now the board was a mess of potential forks and trades he couldn't afford. They looked up from the carnage and saw Dr. Suarez standing over them. Could we speak in my office, please? She asked. Robin's first impulse was to say no thank you. There was no reason to go into that office. He was better now. The aspiration was over. He'd done his time lying flat to put pressure on the puncture site. The procaine had already worn off. He knew that soon a nurse would come over, take his blood pressure, and declare he wasn't vasovagal, and send him home. For 2 days, he and Una would both have the same stiff gait. Then it would go away. It was all routine now. He looked at Una, wondering what she knew. She held up her palms. She was surprised, too. It's about your labs, Dr. Suarez explained. Her face was hard, and her eyes were pained. It was a short walk to her office, but his mind ran for miles. Please just be about the sunburn, he hoped. He'd covered up on their hike and put on sunscreen, but his skin was still so sensitive. The back of his neck looked like he'd been slapped. They all sat down. He looked at the wall of patients in remission. His picture wasn't there yet. Please, please, please. It wasn't about the sunburn. The horde was back. They are numberless, Brendan the emissary. So we swap here to the fantasy thread. They are numberless, Brendan the emissary breathed. The hills were ablaze with campfires. Like locusts, the goblin horde chewed up the forest, felling thousands of ancient trees to feed their bonfires and build their engines of war. The land would not recover for generations. Goblins flooded into the Valley of Six Mists in a river of whipping banners and glinting spears. At the rear, drivers whipped forward a chained menagerie of strange beasts, wyverns and manticores, hydras and basilisks, ogres and trolls. Units scrambled to stay ahead. Any who drew too close were liable to get gobbled. Shamans swaggered forward in feathered entourages of drummers and dancers. Young goblins crowded close and tried to snatch a fetish or a feather and steal a piece of magic for his own. Sorry, I had to step away, but for now, oh, you missed like one of the key chapters of the book. It's we can read them later. Bodyguards beat them back savagely, but there were more hands than clubs. Only a powerful aura could hold back the grabbers. You remember that onion thing? The grabblers? Every march, there were a few pretenders whose power was feigned or waning. They were found out, mobbed down, and gleefully torn apart. Achie. Okay. On the flanks, wolf riders loped forward in snarling packs to keep the outer mobs from wandering away. Above, the grabber from the black phone? I haven't seen that one. Above, hosts of bat riders swooped over the horde, bombarding the troops with insults and dung. The Maja had laid out his march like a great flask, bottling in the volatile mixture of rival tribes until they were ready to erupt at a target. It would not be long. A foul wind blew through the vale, rank with smoke and unwashed bodies. The clamor was incredible, a non-stop din of cackling, shrieking, screaming, snarling, and arguing. Here was the might of Black Abba the Maja, the greatest, craziest warlord the world had ever known. Here was his numberless horde, unmatched by any other force. And so, the goblins are obviously like a metaphor for myeloid blasts in his bloodstream. So, you don't need an English teacher to tell you this one. High on the side of Black Mountain, the leaders of the Heartbroken Brigade. All right, hold on. Let me get this dog out of here. One sec. Go. There we go. Those dogs are crazy. High on the side of Black Mountain, the leaders of the Heartbroken Brigade stood on the moon gate together. They looked out at the green rot that had overtaken Sparfadil and despaired. Clan Blaclaw had come at last. It will be a glorious death, Ureg the Whirlwind announced. Burback Breakbow grunted. Hold on just a second. Yeah. Now look at this dork with his spam. There we go. High on the side of Black Mountain, the leaders of the... we did this one. Fake viewers, oh boy. Yeah, they'd really be helpful in my edit. Burback Breakbow grunted, in rare agreement with the Windsworn. High Priest Brendan blanched, but offered no alternative. A fool could see they were doomed. That revolting green sea of goblins would... Goblins is capital. All the unit types are capital in this. Would crash through the defenses again and again until they broke through. The southern ramparts were still incomplete. They lost too many soldiers during the costly victory at Lastgate. They could not check the horde for long. I don't have enough men. Even if we still had our cavalry, the entire Imperial army could not stand against them. Brendan the emissary shook his head and mopped a sheen of sweat from his tattooed scalp. Scriptures spiraled around the around the high priest's skull, elevating lines of praise to the imperial seal of the emperor that covered his crown. There could be no doubt who he served. You'll find out soon enough. Anvilan is next, once the Gobos take the boar and arm themselves with Bluebane steel, Burback opined. Bobbert let out an exasperated sigh. He'd spent so much time securing this shaky alliance with the Empire. Goblins can't work Bluebane, Brendan insisted. Wrong, Sufferin the Mastersmith barked, and caught them all off guard. Dead wrong. They can, and they've done it before. Mail and fine blades may escape them, but they know enough to beat out arrowheads in 1,000. Put a Bluebane bodkin point on a goblin shaft, and it'll punch through your overwrought imperial plate like it's made of paper. Your knights won't survive a single volley. Ask the savages what my arrows did to the Chaos Legionnaires, Sufferin boasted. Our bowmen shot through the Chaos filth 2 at a time, Ureg grinned. He took savage as a compliment. Brendan the emissary looked for someone to assure him he was right, but he had no toadies here. The leaders of the Heartbroken Brigade would not tell him what he wanted to hear. At last he simply shook his head. That cannot be allowed. Nor can it be prevented now. Do you remember me, priest? A year ago you gave me the Emperor's reply to our plead for aid at Dagbellow Dell. You named us rebels and spat on our offer of alliance. With even one company of halberdiers we could have stopped the Gobos cold. Now, see what you have wrought. Enough, Bobbert stepped between them. The past is done. Focus on the problem. We cannot possibly hold Black Boar, nor can we allow it to fall into goblin hands. Then glory awaits, Ureg stared out at the horde. King Hermione eyed his wild grandson with worry. Since his comrades were slain at the Battle of Lastgate, Ureg had grown more and more eager to join them in the eternal war frolic of Glory Effine. Halberdiers like bombardiers? Oh yeah. It's those big, crazy polearms that you see, like, ceremonial guards in Europe carrying all the time. Alright, let's see. Yeah. My favorite polearm, for sure, is like the partisan. I just think that triple point looks cool. Let me see here. But yeah, there's a million different ones. Back to Corbin, and you know, like everybody's seen that that like picture in Arms and Armory from the, was it in the Player's Handbook or the Dungeon Master's Guide? I don't know what it's in now. Nowadays, I think the Dungeon Master's Guide is like half about like picking your character's gender and stuff like that. You know. Actually, the real problem isn't all like the woke stuff in it, which is what it is. Oh my god. But it's just like they gave everything a million hit points, and it takes like a month to fight every battle. All right, there we go. Yo, what up?
Hey, Zach, Josh. I just wanted to confirm
Busy,
you got
busy,
everything
busy. I'm sorry.
you needed.
Yep. Yeah, that's a no. Yeah. I did not want that to be on whatever. and I don't want people just calling me out of the whatever. So that's an annoying call. That guy's not going to get my business. He had the worst pitch of like 5 different companies I called, and is bothering me to follow up. No, they have points. It's true, man. I don't know if you tried to play like 5e, but the 5, ugh. Like 5e just made me go back to like, all right, we're doing 2e. That's it. There hasn't been a better addition than 2e. And that's all there is to it. Maybe like 2.5, I would say. But every move the whirlwind made shuddered with portents. No, Bobbert refused. It's useless to make a stand. We must retreat. No retreat, Ureg bellowed. Burback had nearly shouted the same. Only respect for the reconciler checked his tongue. Bobbert waited, scouring Ureg with his uncanny stare. The warrior's huge chest heaved, but the presence of Hermione restrained him. Hilg, what are the efforts to undermine the entrances? Not enough time to do it right, and is no use anyway. Even if we collapse the mine, Lakaba's got unlimited labor. It's just a matter of time until they dig it out. Once we withdraw, we will never get the boar back. Hilg opined. Burback and Suffren nodded with respect for the master sapper. Do we all agree the mine is lost, no matter what course we take? Bobbert asked. All agreed, even the emissary. Burback wondered where Bobbert was leading them. Hey, Hachi, get out of here. Scram. Go upstairs. 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 Go. Upstairs. Take your ball and go. All agreed, even the emissary. Burback wondered where Bobbert was leading them. And do we all agree that losing Black Boar is the worst possible outcome for all of us? Aye, Suffren said. The dwarves rumbled agreement. They'd learned the same bitter lesson ages ago. Then we are of one mind. There is no better alternative. I have cut a deal that will allow our force to escape, strike a terrible blow against Blackaw, and deny them the mine indefinitely. But there is a terrible price. Hermione and Bobbert shared a woeful look. They were conspirators now, bound by guilt and sorrow. Wait, Brendan the emissary held up a scarred hand. The unyielding hammer seal of the Imperium was branded on his palm. A deal with who? Oh, yeah. I like it. All right. So, readers will be going a lot of places, but because we haven't actually established who the deal is with, it does not happen there. Mm-hmm. The Horde is back. Because we already did the return of whatever. Publish our chapter. Then we'll go to Scrub Stack here. And then we'll go and create blah, 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 blah. Create an article. The Horde is back. Scrub Stack is wild. Yeah, they're not good. No, I'm just saying it right now. Like, here, I'll show you why they're not good here. And then... Scribe. Continue. So you do all this stuff, which should be automatic, by the way. And it's just like a WordPress wrapper, right? They're not doing anything complicated here. All right, and then let's feast our eyes on... All right, oh, and let me go here. We can go here. And so just me having to do this is dumb, right? Like, there should be some kind of built-in navigation. They have, like, their sections, but it doesn't really do this. So I just have to, every single time, just... and then embed the next chapter. And it's kind of a pain for readers and so forth. But, you know, they were set up for news articles and so forth. It's not wrong. The real problem with this thing is like, let's go to, where's my feed or whatever there. I'm in the Prodigy. Let's go to my subscriptions here. What do we got? Maybe we'll go to Explore here. Any other fantasy writers out there? I'm looking for more indie fantasy books to read, romantic or none, having a hard time finding solid suggestions. This is a lie, right? Like, this is just nonsense. This lady is just networking. Write raw human nature. It doesn't matter if you write thrillers, horror, science fiction, or fantasy. If you stay grounded in human nature, the story will work. Well, great. Thanks for the advice. Wayne writes. To everyone publishing on Substack, I'm reading, I'm subscribing, I'm supporting you. Let's connect. It's like, it's garbage, you know? What is this? What's wrong with these people, right? Like, writers are cranky hermits that hate everybody, right? Or maybe it's just me. But like this gushy, networky thing and so forth. All right, let me see. Sci-fi novels for literature lovers. Let's take a look at his thing. Blah 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 blah. Danger Will Robinson. Look at how much nonsense. So Frankenstein, Jules Verne, Connecticut Yankee, and King Arthur's. It's not good. Brave New World, mid. I haven't read the Space Trilogy by C.S. Lewis. I would check that out. Hey, what are you doing? Hey, you tearing up paper? Oh my god, that dog is crazy. 1984, it's worthwhile. Foundation's worthwhile. Fahrenheit 451. I'm not wearing it now, but Canonical for Leibowitz. I thought it was okay. It was interesting. Starship Troopers. I really enjoyed it, honestly. Flowers for Algernon is one of the best novellas I've ever read. It's fantastic. Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? You know, recently I did a book club reading for a Philip K. Dick book, Clans of the Alphane Moon, and it was a wonderful premise, just amazing. It was like there's a moon where there used to be a mental hospital, and it broke down, and they abandoned the planet, and so all the different psychoses formed into clans. You had like schizophrenics and paranoiacs and like sadists and so forth, and or psychopaths essentially, and each of them has like their different clan on the moon, and they're all fighting with each other and stuff. Great premise, right? Execution abysmal, just awful. One of the worst things I've ever read. Only recently heard of Algernon because it was referenced on the show Pantheon. Read the book. It is literally like a 2-hour read. One of the best books ever. And the movie that they made out of it, which was called Charlie, also kind of decent. But Flowers for Algernon, just perfect. Really, such a good thing. So Left-Handed Darkness, I thought it was okay. Didn't get the hype. Slaughterhouse 5 is a masterpiece. Clockwork Orange, just putting it out there, boys. Ugh, masterpiece. Really and truly, I loved it. Wait, what does he say about it? I tried this in the past, but couldn't get past the invented language. Fuck this guy. Oh, wait, hold on. Ugh. So every time I curse on stream, I gotta donate $1 to the Leukemia Research Foundation. I feel like reading this is really gonna be... it's gonna be rough on my pocketbook. I'm gonna try not to curse more. All right, let me see what else has he got going on here. Hate this guy. Dune, masterpiece. No more needs to be said. Neuromancer are like very good. I would give it like a strong 80 to 85. Book of the New Sun, I couldn't get through. Hyperion is a masterpiece. It's like a 94, 95. The Plot Against America. A few people have told me to read this one, but I haven't done it. The Road, I thought was okay, but kind of sucked. Anyhow, zero of what I scanned through in this article makes me ever want to see Don Beck again. Let me know if I know this guy IRL. No, I don't ever want to see this person again in my life. Well, luckily, Substack is over. I can just get out of this thing. But yeah, how's that not bathtub size? You really changed? What? Oh, that's because I just started doing the jar like a quarter of the way through here. Anyhow, thanks for tuning in, Axel. Yeah, like just shoot me an email or something if you have anything you would like me to read, and let me know whether you want critical feedback or you just want somebody to big up you on there. Because my critical feedback is brutal, and the big up is just like, hey, you can do it. All right, let me get out of here. So starting tomorrow, we just have 11 chapters left. Maybe I'll just do 11 chapters in one day. I might be that crazy. I got you, bro. I need critical. Yeah. So I'll tell you, I like the new way that I'm doing. I have a new methodology for editing in the age of AI and so forth. I'll holler at you about it later. It's a secret weapon. Every says nothing or good or something or else vague. Yeah, they're not actually reading it. Like they're skimming, right? Like somebody actually like sit down and I would guess out of the people who tell you that they read your book or your short story or whatever, it's really only the people that you were sleeping with who will give you like an honest appraisal, or have slept with in the past for the most part, or somebody who wants to sleep with you. That's like the circle of people who will actually read your writing, uh, and people who want to use you for something, and then they'll tell you something or whatever. That's a very cynical take. Some people actually like to read, but they are few and far between, and so forth. And I live in a den of vipers. Look at this crazy. All right, Hachi, come here, come here, come here, come here. Here, just get the ball. All right, enough of this. Yeah, I'm cranky when I'm sick. All right, adios. Good talking with you. And holler, I'm Zach at ZachZYZ.com if you need to send me anything, or you can just DM me on one of these sites. If you could leave me like a review or a comment or something on Royal Road, it would help a lot.